everyone. I'm Gretchen Carlson. It is Friday. Welcome to The Real Story. Breaking news on Obamacare. The Department of Health and Human Services now extending the enrollment from December 15th to December 23rd in order to get coverage by January 15th. This just happening moments ago. Yet another delay now for Obamacare. The administration postponing the 2015 enrollment period until after the midterm elections next year. That announcement came yesterday, claiming it's going to give consumers and insurance companies more time to study their options. But skepticism is running high on Capitol Hill that it's all about politics right now, leaving White House Press Secretary Jay Carney on the hot seat, scrambling to explain what the heck is going on. Chief White House correspondent Ed Henry live at the White House with more. So, Ed, the White House is accused of playing politics with all this shifting of dates, aren't they?
Well, that's right, Gretchen. Republicans like Chuck Grassley jumping on this and suggesting that for the White House this far in advance to be saying they're pushing back enrollment for 2015, which was supposed to start in early to mid-October of 2014. It's now going to be pushed back to start in mid-November of 2014. The White House says that gives them a chance to have insurers figure out the right premiums. It gives everybody a little bit more time to begin enrollment. But Republicans like Grassley say that also moves the start of enrollment past the midterm elections next year. So if there are any problems that would have happened in October, Democrats don't have to be on defense about it ahead of the election. Here's Grassley saying, quote, that means that if premiums go through the roof in the first year of Obamacare, no one will know about it until after the election. This is clearly a cynical political move by the Obama administration to use extra regulatory by any means necessary tools to keep this program afloat and hide key information from voters. That's the charge from Republican Chuck Grassley. A few moments ago, Jay Carney told me that's nonsense. Take a listen.
He says you're doing that so that it starts after the midterm elections. It's politics.
The fact is, we're doing this because it makes sense for insurers to have as clear a sense of the pool of consumers they gain in the market this year before setting rates for next year.
Now, if it makes sense to do that for the 2015 enrollment, I also asked Jay why not extend the 2014 enrollment even further. As you know, you talked about this extension within December for this year, but that enrollment for 2014 extends through the end of March, the early part of next year. They've got this 6-month time period. It started a few weeks back, of course. Jay said, look, overall, you've got 6 months there. No reason to extend that. But as you know, it's not just Republicans on the Hill, but about a dozen Senate Democrats have said that maybe it should be extended beyond March 31st of 2014 because folks are logging on right now and can't enroll, Gretchen.
Yep. And again, it's document dumping on a Friday. Ed Henry at the White House, thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Lawmakers wasting no time blasting the delay. Republican Senator John Barrasso of Wyoming calling it pure politics and a way to sweep Obamacare's problems under the rug.
It is a cynical political ploy by the administration to hide the additional sticker shock, the increased costs of insurance that are going to come next year. So for them to delay from a couple of weeks before the election to a couple of weeks after the election, to me, is just a naked effort.
Well, joining me now is Fox News contributor Guy Benson in studio. Good to see you, Guy.
Good to see you.
So for analysis on this, what are we to make? There's 2 delays now today. Breaking news at the top of the hour, an extension for this year. But what about this other delay for next year after the midterm elections?
This is a pair of admissions by the administration. On a political level, they are trying to push, at least mitigate some of the damage on the access and premium shock that's going to hit again next year and push that past the election. Keep in mind, these rates are still going to be announced before the election, but people won't be staring at them on their computer screens until after the election. So that helps ameliorate the damage a little bit. That is an admission by the White House, tacitly, that the premium situation next year, the sticker shock is going to be bad, which is why they want to send it past the election. The second admission here is on a more practical level. And Jay Carney, we just saw the clip from him explaining this is giving insurers more time to set their rates, because they are right now looking, and this is where I think that they're sort of conceding something, they're looking at the pool of people that have already signed up for Obamacare,
exactly.
And it is skewing older and sicker, and they want to give as much time as possible to hope and pray and keep their fingers crossed that healthier, younger people will sign up and join that pool and give that little bit of extra breathing room for the insurers to set their rates, to get a sense of that pool based on which they will set the rates. And so
right.
These are clearly ploys, but they are sort of telegraphing some things to the American people about what's coming next year.
Right, because of the 7 million people they wanted to sign up by March, they needed 2.5 million of them to be the young, high-paying customers who, by the way, many believe don't need the health insurance coverage right now. I want to direct your attention to another story happening, because we're also getting reaction from White House Press Secretary Jay Carney on why the anonymous shopper function on the Obamacare website was scrapped, even though it reportedly passed key tests before the October 1st launch.
That's your anonymous sources saying something. Henry Chow has made clear that wasn't the case.
Do you believe that it failed miserably?
Again, it had multiple defects, and Henry Chow testified.
That's different than failing.
We stand by his testimony.
I mean,
testimony.
So they're standing by his testimony, which I'm going to play for you in just a moment. The accusation is that at the last minute, they took away this anonymous shopper option, which would have allowed consumers to be able to see how much it was going to cost them to get into healthcare.gov. Why would they get rid of that?
Well, because of sticker shock. They didn't want people logging on. They call, oh, this is going to be like Travelocity or Expedia for healthcare. Well, when you go to try to buy a flight on those websites, you see all the options and how much they cost and what the airlines are. They were worried that before people got some of their government subsidies factored in, if they just looked at the rates that were publicly available to everyone, people were going to flip out over how high they were. And therefore, they scrapped this thing. Now, I do find it somewhat amusing that Jay Carney and the administration have to rely now on the excuse that they scrapped this thing because it was a total failure. That is the most charitable explanation they can come up with.
And during sworn testimony, Mr. Chow said it failed so miserably that we could not conscionably let people use it. We heard Jay Carney standing by that sworn testimony. We'll have to wait and see how this all pans out. Guy Benson, great to see you in studio.
Good to see you.
Thank you.